As a disclaimer, Monster Fuckers Anonymous is indeed about wanting to love and have sex with monsters, but we want to make things extremely clear from the get-go. Not all of the chosen monsters will be sapient, but we will not be endorsing zoophilia or bestiality. We will be as transparent and ethical as possible, while also sex-positive and mostly having fun.
Vampires that stalk in the night. Werewolves that howl to the moon, dragons that loom over the skies. These monsters and more have plagued mortals for millennia, clouding our minds with one singular thought.
Can we fuck 'em?
Fiction or reality, which one should we be? Don't think that I'm that naive to see the fiction or reality of things you've done to me. Now all this stupid shit is on repeat.
Hello, one and all. Welcome back to another fantastic, wonderful, stupendous episode of MFA, aka Monster Fuckers Anonymous, the show where we talk about monsters, talk about the world, talk about their media representation. I rate them on a scale of 1 to 10, whether or not you. Yes, you looking up to the sky, imagining how tall you can really go. Whether or not you should be having sex with those monsters. I'm your colorful creature consultant cleric, and with me as always is the troublesome titty sucker themselves, our tentacle analyst, Joe.
How much money would it take for you to get the surgery where you get taller?
50,000.
50,000?
Yeah, but also I did see that episode of House. I don't know if it was House. It was one of the medical procedures. Oh, it was Grey's Anatomy. It was Grey's Anatomy where the short guy got the illegal surgery and it got super infected and he ended up having to lose both his legs.
Yeah, it's fucked. I feel like you need a little bit more money than $50,000 to completely ruin your life.
I've done it for less.
It's like, okay, well.
I've ruined my life for a hinge date.
For companionship.
Anyways, Joe, that all aside, what are we talking about today? What's on the docket? What's on the agenda? What's on the syllabus? What's on the list? What's on the planned announcements? What's going on?
We don't have that many documents related to this show. We have a Discord server. Do you realize that?
What's in the Discord server?
Well, we have a request from our very good friend Navarre, Sexy Giants.
Check out Navarre's show, Secret Nerd Podcast, which me and Joe are both going to be on soon.
Very soon.
Very soon. Check it out. Tee-hee.
I'm already on it, so.
Can you let me have something?
Yeah, sure.
Can you just let me have just some fucking talking? Sure. Damn. Anyways, giants. Okay. I love giants. Giant monsters, giant vibes, big, tall women, big, tall men, big, tall monsters. Every time makes me fold. I will fold any
the non-binary monster. Yes.
The non-binary monster. Yeah, that's always the third option in any survey. It's male, female, monster. Monster, yeah.
Excellent.
Shout out. So, Joe, what do you think attracts people to giants, to large monsters?
I don't know if this is exactly where... I don't know where exactly kind of the origin of Amazon. Well, no, we do know where Amazons come from, the very Greek concept. There's always been giant women, who come in troves or tribes. And there's always something very exciting about a woman that's just bigger than you because I don't know, maybe it's an infantilizing sort of aspect to the kink or I don't know.
I wouldn't say that. Sure. I think Death by Susu, very popular, very good meme. But I think it's also just the size difference of things.
Yes.
I think usually I don't think it's babyish, but it's more of wanting someone strong to protect you in this large person. Sure. Being there and doing that. I also think muscles are hot.
Muscles are hot. Yeah, so it's an age-old, lifelong, ancient feeling of big women hot. I guess is basically what we the ancient snoo, yes, Futurama.
And we've talked about different giant monsters before. Literally, last episode we talked about Charybdis. We talked about Polyphemus, which are both giant monsters.
Sure.
We've talked about other large limit, like the Leviathan. We've talked about the giant Cthulhu monster in the water. Monsters are usually associated with imposing size, because we as humans usually don't get past 6 foot. The average height is like 5'8", I think. So
Sure.
a lot of people can't. I think people associate monster traits to just imposing size. So I think that's an interesting dynamic to fit through.
Yeah, that we will now be degrading with our degeneracy and such and so on.
Correct. So I've brought a giant monster. Joe has brought a giant monster. And we're going to be also fielding some calls. We have some calls from people who want to talk about giant monsters, want to get advice from us. We can keep it anonymous. So we'll help out with that. Joe?
Anonymous. Yeah, what's up?
Anonymous. Yeah, someone. All right, Joe. Are you ready to start? Are you ready to begin? Are you ready to initiate? Are you ready to roll initiative? Are you ready to...
Jesus Christ. Yes, I am. Yes.
Okay, start.
I will be talking about the Green Knight.
Who the fuck is that?
The Green Knight is a giant created by Morgan Le Fay to test King Arthur's mettle. His skin and vestments green, colors representative of the natural world, and a reminder for knights to take their vows seriously, or else. A Christmas bough of holly in one hand, peace, and an axe in the other, war. He submits Sir Gawain to the test of his life. No, I seek no battle, I assure you truly. Those about me in this hall are but beardless children. If I were locked in my armor on a great horse, no one here could match me with their feeble powers. Therefore, I ask of the court a Christmas game.
I love Knights of the Round Table. I love Lancelot. I love King Arthur.
Love Lancelot.
Love the names. Love the vibe. King Arthur and the Arthurian myths are really iconic.
Arthurian.
Shut the fuck up and explain more.
So the Green Knight is a character that is just truly was just created to test these knights, especially the ones that were destined for greatness. So such as King Arthur, such as Gawain. So have you seen the Green Knight
I have not.
With Dev Patel? Not only am I sort of taking from, I'm taking a lot of influence from this character design. If you can go ahead and look it up, Cleric.
I will. I am.
So the Green Knight is best described with green skin, green clothing, kind of like an all-around indication of like, this is a created being sort of thing, a giant. And in the Green Knight, the film, the Green Knight is actually made of like tree bark and like has bark skin and has the ability to transform himself into another noble. There's some fruity stuff happening in between Gawain and the Green Knight, but I'm assuming anyone that the Green Knight tests
gets a little fruity with him.
Gets a little fruity with him.
Gets a little fruity with the tree.
Because the Green Knight, before becoming the giant, Fey-touched giant, was a Sir Bertilac, and Bertilac had a wife and everything, and Bertilac's wife also partakes in these trials, and Gawain has to have a chastity trial, as well as, I believe, like a trial of pride. So, like, yeah, I think that's basically the vibe. Like, knights need to make sure that they're like fucking...
That they commit to their vows and they don't.
That they commit to their vows, and like that, you know, when I imagine it's like when boxers can't masturbate, you know, before like matches, you know what I mean? So boxers can't masturbate before they have more pent up.
Exactly.
So that they're
what if a boxer, if you're a boxer, message me about this, or add us on Twitter. Let me rephrase that. Add us on Twitter.
Message me solely, exclusively about how you can't nut.
How you can't nut. And let me ask, I want to ask a question, a genuine one here. A very genuine question here. Do you think a boxer has ever gotten punched so hard he nutted?
I think so. People nut when they're exercising. So like it's very we have a character already who has an understanding of like what it is like to be the size of a human because of being able to transform into a man again. But also is a brat tamer through and through.
Ooh, okay.
You know, like
walk me through that. Walk me through the brat tamer aspect of this.
This whole time he knows all of the rules, of like the night table, the knight's table, is aware that Gawain needs to make sure that
he don't fuck.
He doesn't fuck, but at the same time is like sort of teasing him through this process because
little tease that'll be like, maybe you could bust a nut. Get your cum out here.
Bertilac's wife is trying to get Gawain to like kiss her and fuck her the entire time that Gawain is in Bertilac's care, not knowing that it's the Green Knight. And the Green Knight is like the kind of test of pride is that like Bertilac and Gawain go out hunting, but at some point, I'm like butchering this, and I apologize to all of our Arthurian people. Get over yourselves. How I'm gonna interpret it here, or like I guess maybe scenario it up, is that Bertilac is like, are you kissing my wife? And you're not giving me anything back in this exchange. Like you're not like when you go out hunting, you're not getting me anything back. I'm not getting I'm not getting a little part of this like exchange basically. And then Gawain's like, shit, yeah, man, like I'll kiss you, I guess, but like I'm trying really hard not to fuck your wife. So like it's hard for me, dude. You're right. And that's the Green Knight.
That's the great, and that's the pride aspect. It's like, hey, I guess I'll fuck your wife.
I'm sorry. There's something about hunting that I'm not like fully grasping right now. But it's like the Green Knight is just like, there's like a lot of like homoeroticism in this tale that no one's really like understanding because, you know, when they talk about like Jesus then kissed this apostle or this disciple and like it doesn't exactly tell us like how potentially intimate it was or like anything like that. So the Green Knight, there's like similar, like the literature is written similarly of like, and then Gawain and the Green Knight kissed, and it's like, okay, but like
how deeply did you kiss?
Exactly.
Also, while you were talking, I remembered something that kind of threw me for a loop.
Okay.
At least to me personally, which was I looked on my bookshelf and I have a copy of The Legends of King Arthur and His Knights sitting on my bookshelf from my ex. I don't know this book. I've never read it before. It was just sitting there just looking at me. So we could bust this open right now and see if we could pull up the Green Knight's legend here.
Okay, so I've pulled it up also if we just want to.
Let me ASMR there.
Yeah. Okay, thank you so much. That was aggressive. I didn't get to read anything, actually, because you were moving the pages so fast.
Sorry.
Okay.
I'll slow them down.
So I'm on the Lord's Wikipedia. So Gawain doesn't realize that this is the Green Knight, doesn't realize that this is Bertilac.
Okay.
So we only know him as the Lord. So the Lord proposes a bargain to Gawain. He goes hunting every day and he will give Gawain whatever he catches on the condition that Gawain give him whatever he may gain during the day. Gawain accepts. After he leaves, his wife visits Gawain's bedroom and behaves seductively. But despite her best efforts, he allows her nothing but a single kiss. When the Lord returns and gives Gawain the deer he has killed, Gawain gives a kiss to him without divulging its source.
Okay. So a little saucy kiss. Okay.
There's a little saucy kiss. And then again, it's like, there's like this whole like kissing back and forth thing. And he keeps providing, Bertilac keeps providing Gawain like these like hunts throughout the day. The wife pleads that he at least take her sash, a girdle of green and gold silk. The sash, the lady assures him, is charmed and will keep him from all physical harm. Gawain accepts it and they exchange 3 kisses. And sorry, Cass, we can kind of like run through this a little bit. But there's this thing about the sash and how eventually the Lord, because the Lord had gifted the lady that girdle. There's just so many like mind games that the Green Knight is fully prepared to like put Sir Gawain through. And it's very much this like tease and like back and forth of like me and my wife completely already knew what we were going to do upon you coming here. And Gawain is this like new up and coming knight.
Okay.
And we're dealing with like themes of like the Arthurian Christmas and like what does it mean exactly? This like gift giving exchange. There's a lot of symbolism about the Green Knight in general. Like he carries a bough of holly and has like an axe and is completely green. And again, like he is just representative all around. He's Fae touched. He's Fae created
So
of
he's
the
Santa.
natural. So he's Santa.
He's Santa. You've described Fae touched Santa.
Green giant, jolly green giant.
Okay. So you described a lot. I have some things in my mind.
Sure.
If I want to run them by you. One, this is the couple that saw you across the bar and liked your vibe.
Yeah.
This is like, we saw your vibe across the bar. We want to give you a little drink, but we like to play little games. Do you want it? You get interested by them. They're both hot. One of them is fucking 8 foot. No, not even 8 foot. One of them is 10 foot tall.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
One of them is like 5'3", and you're like, how does that work? Can I make that work? And they come up to you, they're like, hey, we want to buy you a drink. Come back to our place. You talk, you chat, you have a good time. You go back to
Everything
their
my wife gives you, you give me back.
Yeah, basically, he's like, I want you to fuck my wife. And he just was like, oh, okay, but the way you fuck her, I want you to fuck me too.
Yeah.
Or even the opposite, where it's like, I'm going to fuck you the way you fucked my wife. And to most people, that's fine.
That's
Girthmaster.
Bisexual legends all around.
Yeah. So you could join this polycule.
I will say, even just making it about the Green Knight himself, like again, she's gonna come seek you out, and like he's gonna see a brat, or he's gonna see like the brat in you, like whatever situation. And I think this is maybe the only time, not the only time, but like I kind of in a similar fashion as you developed like someone meeting kindred for the first time.
Yeah.
The Green Knight is like it's like we are at ye old dancing hall, and the Green Knight appeareth upon ye, and sees that he likes your vibe, and he wants to try and like do like a mind game thing with you, but only because you think you can run with the mind games back.
The problem being, and we're seeing there are some issues here. I'm going to be very clear.
Of course,
the constant games and testing, that's never a great sign.
I think it only happens that way because this is like a type of character. Well, we're assuming we're playing like a dating sim visual novel thing right here, where we are saying that we're going to be the next best great knight, so we must be tested. If we are saying that we're walking up into the function and being like, I'm like the next greatest like brat knight legend,
or just like, I think I'm going to be the best like pool player ever.
Yeah.
Best pool player there's going to be. And then this, again, 8 foot, 9 foot tall guy. He's like, all right,
completely
then
green.
Let's play. Starts playing you in pool, kicks your ass. And somehow while you're trying to like get the shots, is like in your ear whispering things.
Yeah.
Being like, oh, you don't even know how to do the right stance. Let me show you. And like kind of messes with your stance, but also is doing it in a way that's so hot that you're like, it flusters you.
Yeah.
And so you mess up, and he's constantly just like teasing you about it. It's like, oh, you missed again. Is that really what the best does?
I think this guy is very attracted to people who say and think that they're the best. And like, there's something kind of, it can be kind of like
he likes boy failures. That's it.
I think
he likes boy failures.
There could be something kind of problematic about someone trying to like reach out to like people who he knows they might fail, or like there could be this like thing.
Yeah. It's like a mocking of effort.
But if we kind of take that away and like make it a little bit more of like, this guy was literally made for this thing. Like he's just a general reminder that like fairies also want you to like tone it down.
Yeah.
And if you have vows, and fairies also love vows and like want to make sure that you're upholding like the quote unquote natural way of like the world, being that like nature is very chaotic and life is a wild card. And if you say that you're a wild card, you need to step your pussy up.
Yeah. You got to like, Say it with your chest.
Say it with your chest.
Say it with your chest.
fucking
Don't
chest.
be weird. Don't
Yeah.
be like, I'm the best at what I do. And then when I'm like, all right, prove it. You falter.
Exactly.
And then be like, that doesn't count. No, it counts.
Yeah.
You failed. Own it. Dumbass.
Dumbass. Yeah.
So let's dive into I almost said the Papa scale. Let's dive into the spread scale right now.
Let's get it.
Let's get it. Let's talk about it. I think we've talked about aspects of the monster, the lore, the original. Let's get into sexiness, sex appeal, how hot they are, their mumbo jumbo, wumbo lumbo, whether or not that makes your shit go wumbo combo.
What a beautiful poem.
Thank you. It's Arthurian.
Yeah. I don't know why this isn't just like a straight up 10 for me. It's like a 9.5 in my heart.
Okay. So if we're going by base appearance, to list out the attributes, they are at least 10 feet tall. 10 feet tall, covered in green bark, completely. We're going to go by their monster form. You can't be, I'm not doing human. The human form doesn't even fucking factor into this. 10 feet tall, covered in bark, green all over, moss is on them. According to the Green Knight, the movie, the image I saw, they have like a mustache that's built into
so hot.
The bark, which is hot. It is good. There is just branches and all that stuff coming off of them. That base level is pretty attractive. I'm going off that, I'll give this an 8. I think that's the nature aspect, the hot aspect of it just really works together.
I'm backtracking to a 9, although it barely makes any difference.
Yeah. I think the moss is really what throws me off, to be honest.
That's fair.
I feel like if we have sex and then a worm or a spider comes out of you, I would like...
Really?
Like the episode of Grey's Anatomy. I'm talking about Grey's Anatomy.
You really do?
I really do just talk about Grey's Anatomy a lot. So there's this episode of Grey's Anatomy where this guy has like warts and growths all over his skin that makes him look like a tree. And then when they break off one of them and they're trying to get off to it, spiders crawl out because he like...
No.
I would hate if that happened if I was fucking the Green Knight and a fucking like spider just like...
It seems like a risk that you have to take, unfortunately.
Yeah, which is why tonight it would be higher if I didn't think about that.
If only spiders didn't come out of his skin.
If only spiders didn't come out of his pee hole.
Yeah. Absolutely. Personality. There's a games afoot.
There's games afoot. I am iffy on his personality because Brat Tamer is hot. As somebody who is a little bit more bratty, or tends to lean more towards bratty, I do like when somebody puts me in my place. I also like being the person who puts someone else in their place. It's the switch, switch vibes. The thing with him though is the constant mind games that I don't know. You never know when it's on and when it's off. Its entire existence as a Fae is to test. Faes are usually very testing of vows, testing of everything. So I'm not sure when that starts and stops.
That's fair. Yeah.
Leaving that in that very nebulous place, but he does seem kind. He does want to help. He does want to make sure that you still are the best. If you say you're the best, he's going to test you. And if you are the best, and he's like, damn, you did it. Dab me up, king.
Yeah. Dab me up, king.
Dab me up. Dab me up. So I would give this a 7.
Sure. I think that's fair. I understand that. I feel like he just wants you to be your best self, but is also a fairy giant, so it gets a little confusing as far as priorities goes. But I'm also a very independent person. I feel like maybe 7.5 is what I'm feeling.
Okay. I think that's fair, genuinely. Relationship
potential.
This is high.
I think so.
Because he's married. And he's also they're very open about their marriage. They're like, hey, you give my wife a kiss, give me a little kiss too. Mwah, mwah, mwah. So I think it's very open. I think it's very discussable. I think it's you can have those dynamics in there. And like I said, they're I see you across the bar type couple. So
yeah, literally.
I would, you know what? I'm going to give this a 9. I don't know if their marriage is open. That's not written in Arthurian lore. It wasn't in the book. So I can't give this a 10 out of 10, but I will give it a 9.
A 9 is really good. I'm trying to think about, because my kindred score was approximately an 8, but I think they were far more like you can't really extricate the two of them. You can separate the Green Knight and his wife. Like that's kind of the whole point.
Yeah, she can just literally be like, have fun and like leave it to do her own thing. She has her own extramarital things going on.
She has her extramarital. Yeah. So yeah, I feel like a 9 is beautiful.
Yeah, genuinely. I think this is a pretty good way to put it through. Encounter chance. This is where I think we have an issue.
Yes, we do.
How often in the story does the Green Knight exist?
I mean, the Green Knight was created to test Sir Arthur, or King Arthur, who is literally a knight of like this, I don't know if secret order is the correct wording there, but Sir Gawain had a lot on his plate, right? Like he had
wait, Sir Arthur was tested or Sir Gawain was tested?
Well, he was created for Sir Arthur, and the Green Knight has existed for as long as there are knights to test. Yeah.
Okay.
He is like this known like tester, exorcist type character throughout Arthurian lore and legend, but like he specifically is the one that makes Sir Gawain like notable or great. But that being said, if he only comes around like on a Christmas time.
Yeah. He's Santa. So let's say he comes like maybe the day before Santa.
The fucking worst Santa ever.
Yeah.
Probably closer to Krampus, if anything. It's like not impossible, but I feel like you do have to have a knight worth something to prove. And not all of us are exactly like that.
Yeah.
So
I think in nowadays, if we were to bring it to a modern sense, I think the Green Knight doesn't test knights anymore, but tests like athletes, I think this is somebody who would like test politicians, would be the one to be like, hey, are you worthy to stand in this position of authority? Are you worthy to talk to these people? Are you worthy of this? And a lot of people fail. So in encounter chance, I'm going to say it's very low. I'm going to give this a 3.
I was going to give it a 3 as well. Yeah.
I think that's just where it's at, which leads to death risk. Now, the question I have is, did the Green Knight fight Gawain? Was there a battle?
There was this whole thing of the Christmas game involved basically like, Gawain, if you don't find a way to like take me down, then I decapitate you.
Okay.
With my big axe.
My big old axe. So I would say this is a knight. This is a soldier. This is somebody who, again, if I would argue, if you say you want to be the best chef in the world, and he's like, okay, let's do it. I'll teach you how to be the best chef while you kiss my wife a little bit, and then you kiss me, and then we'll do a little cooking. But then when we do a final cooking competition, we're going to go on Cutthroat Kitchen. We're going to compete with all the obstacles.
Gordon Ramsay is going to be there because he's English.
Yeah. And then if you lose, I'm chopping off your hand.
Chopping off your head?
Yeah. He's like, whoa.
On live television.
He's like, yo, I just gave you back shots. And he's like, that doesn't matter.
I just gave you and your wife back shots.
It doesn't matter. You got to be the best. My wife isn't going to fuck a loser. I'm not gonna let my wife get seated like that. Fuck out of here.
That's huge. I'm not gonna let my wife fuck a loser. That's so crazy. Yeah, that's huge.
I'm not gonna let my wife fuck a fucking loser.
Okay. Yeah.
I would say this death risk, I would give this right at 5. I think 5 is fair.
Because it's a strong guarantee. Yeah. Unless you can like, I think because the Fae thing, it's like, he'll play around. Like he'll let a loophole slide. Yeah. You just gotta think hard enough.
You have to figure out your own vibe. You have to be the one to outsmart him. You have to be the one to compete well. That's on you. The Green Knight's not, if you don't claim to be the best, then it's not gonna fucking happen.
Exactly, yeah.
Stay in your lane. Stay mid. Because that's what you are. You know what? Yeah, that's what you fucking are. Stay mid. Because if not, you trying to be like, I'm the best of this, I'm the best of that. The Green Knight's going to come. And then you're going to come in him, and he's going to come in, and you're going to come in his wife. And then you're going to have to figure out and fight to the death of the Green Knight. And you're not going to be the best because you're not. You're fucking mid.
I feel like a 5 also makes a lot of sense. Maybe even like, I don't know if it's like as low as a 4 either. I feel like it just depends.
I genuinely does. I think it depends on what you say you're the best of. If we're doing by the Green Knight challenges those who consider themselves better than most, who are arrogant, then I think it works either way. So that's why I said 5. I would say 4.5 if you want to do that. or at least like 4 because a lot of people think they're the best at shit.
Okay. We got the numbers.
You know what, Joe? Now that we have the numbers, let's figure out who's the best at just, let's do a quick competition, quick running competition. Let's do a quick run, see where the best.
Oh, I'm a smoker. I'm going to die.
Well, we'll find out when we'll be back with the numbers. How did we both lose?
Years of remote and or office work.
That is correct. Anyways, Joe, numbers, go.
All right. I'm a little disappointed. For Cleric, for the Green Knight, a 6.4. And for me, Joe, for the Green Knight, a 6.7, which gives the Green Knight a 6.6, which is hilariously just a 0.1 above Kindred.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
That's interesting. I do think this should be higher. I do, in my heart of hearts, I feel like this should be a higher ranked monster. The problem being the death risk and the encounter chance, which really lowers the bar here.
Yeah.
When it comes to relationship potential and hotness and personality, pretty good across the board. But sometimes being able to find this monster and not dying from it is a pretty big fucking deal.
It's a pretty big part of
That's a big
situation.
Deal. So it is what it is. But listen, if you want to risk it all, you can. Unless you're fucking mid.
Oh my God. I mean, yeah. Just don't be mid.
Don't be mid. Whoa. So the phone is ringing again. Looks like it's that time, folks, for us to get our anonymous phone call. Joe?
This looks like a voicemail. I think we missed it this time.
We did. All right, let's give it a listen. Let's hear the voicemail that you've left us. I'm going to press it. Move your hand.
Okay.
Move your hand. I want to press the button.
Okay, yeah,
Move
sure.
it, move it.
Hey, so my partner is a giant.
Ooh, giant partner.
Things are good.
Okay.
And we kind of have like a dom sub kind of relationship.
Okay.
I'm the dom.
Interesting.
I guess my question is, how do I dom a giant?
Oh.
The size difference makes it kind of hard to feel like I have any kind of like power in the situation, So any help you can give would be great. Thanks.
All right. Well, thank you, anonymous caller.
Personally, get good.
Get good. Get better, honestly. Step your game up. So, dom sub dynamics are always going to be tough, and like especially
if you're an insecure little shit about your own size.
Yeah, honestly, just get your money up. Get your money up, not your funny up.
And not to completely judge you for reaching out for help on this fake liminal call center. But the real answer is to talk to your partner about how I'm feeling insecure about how small I am. And that very well may be a feature that you may love about me or like celebrate about me. But like in this particular aspect, can you help me reframe my role in this DS relationship that we have?
Yeah. And I think it's finding different ways to dom them that isn't, because I think a lot of dom dynamics take like over the person's body.
Mm-hmm.
It's more of like, I'm going to wrap, like being a rope bunny, like you have like the hands like wrapped around, you have somebody bent over, especially if you're going with like full toys and things like that. There's a lot of dynamics that show that you overpower this person.
Yeah.
And that's really, sometimes you can't do that, but there are ways to do it in a different sense. Like maybe you annoy her or annoy them and like because you're so much smaller than them, you can maybe climb on top of them and like be in places that they like, that make them squirm, that they have difficulty reaching, they have difficulty dealing with it. They have to like beg you to stop if you're messing with you in this spot. So there's ways to go around.
Psychological warfare.
Yes. Do psychological
Tom and
warfare with your giant. Tom and Jerry.
For all the tall giant legends that just want to feel appropriately dominated or topped or whatever. Listen, communicate.
Yeah.
What are the ways that being small can be kind of like domineering and frightening, and like what's fun about that?
And if you can always like have them handcuffed to something, handcuffed to a mountain,
Dive
and then
in.
you can
Service top.
I think that's the way to go about it, and kind of just mess around with their body as much as you can. Communication really is key. Genuinely. It's going to be that tough part. But also, if depending on the size of your girlfriend or your partner or wherever, you can dive into one of their holes and just be in there. Do war.
Overwhelm them.
Overwhelm them with force. Guerrilla warfare. Psychological warfare.
No.
So yeah, you could just dive into one of their holes and just like be around in there.
Yeah, I think depending on
Full body condom.
Oh my God. Depending on what specific background your giant partner even comes from, like what makes them happy? Being hunted down?
Being tied up with rope. I mean, there's a lot of iconography
doing a real big hard puzzle.
Making them feel dumb. Making them feel demean them.
Herding sheep.
If you want to, there's a lot of iconography with giants being like tied down with ropes, like whole villages tying them down with ropes to like stop them or hold them down. Maybe that's something they're into. Maybe they're into that play. Voyeurism.
Tie them down.
Tie them down.
Tie them down.
Tie them down. Well,
but also just get good.
Just get good. Honestly,
just get good.
Lock in. Lock in.
Idiot.
Well, caller, I hope that helped. It probably didn't, but live your life. Mwah.
Ew.
All right. Well, if you have a call you want to leave us, or a message or a question you have for MFA to help you out with your partner or your monstrous friend, give us a comment, a call on Spotify, Twitter, anywhere we ask questions. We got them. You can do them. Now, Joe, are you ready to keep going?
Let's do it.
So, I've brought a monster. My definition of giant monsters, because we, of course, giant. We talk about a lot of giantess, a lot of giants, giantess who are more humanoid. But sometimes we got to talk about giant monsters. I am a lifelong kaiju fan. I am a lifelong Godzilla fan, and I love them. But I think there's only one thing we need to talk about. Only one monster that can truly, I think, top the fucking charts. Are you curious, Joe? What is the face? What is the face you're making right now?
I looked up a picture.
Oh, you look at the picture of my monster? Because I picked the queen of monsters herself, Mothra. On an island untouched by the destructive nature of mankind, there is a protector, one who is revered for her kindness, her selflessness, her love. A queen who, when monsters plague humanity, when humans cry out, and even with all their wickedness, will not hesitate to sacrifice her life to save them. Through rebirth, she aids. Through death, she saves. Offer prayer to the queen of monsters, Mothra. Mothra, Mothra. I love her.
I love her.
I love her, Mom. So Mothra is, by definition, the first... Okay, let me phrase that.
The first woman.
Actually, yes. That's not even a joke. She's the first female monster ever.
Okay.
So she's the first female monster, and it's this dichotomy of... You're about to get cleric lore dump of special interest things.
I love to get dumped on by you.
Every time. Mothra is the first female monster to ever be created for the Monsterverse, but also just in general. And she kind of represents all the best aspect. She's a feminonicon. What does Chaperone say? The fucking...
Femininomenon.
Feminomenon. So that's it. Because she has all the opposite traits of most of the monsters. She's also the first inherently good monster. When she was first introduced, she was the protagonist. She was the hero of her story. So in her first ever movie, the people of her island, because she lives in an island called Infant Island, and there are all these little people there. They're like little Thumbelina type people, and they worship her, and because Mothra is a protector. Then these businessmen come in, steal her two priests, because there's two priestesses who she really communicates with. And so stole them and made them perform for people, because they sing a song, the song being Mothra, Mothra. So they sing a song, blah, blah, blah. Mothra knows that her priestess gets stolen, and so she starts traveling all the way from the island to the mainland. She starts as a larva, she then goes into a cocoon, and then turns into her giant moth form. And the thing is, people try to stop her. All the destruction that comes from Mothra isn't intentional. She literally goes to where the businessman is like, give me back my people. They do it, and then she leaves. She's the hero. All she's doing is rescuing somebody. And that the goodness of Mothra is inherent throughout every single movie that she's in. She is the hero.
Love that.
So because Godzilla has such environmental themes, she represents the harmony that humanity has with nature. Like what we used to have, where humans respected nature and was a protector of it. The thing is, Mothra inherently will always protect humanity. She is a loving and genuinely kind person. She is the one that actually convinces Godzilla to turn good and become the humanity's protector. Because when the first appearance of King Ghidorah, he shows up destroying everything. Rodan and Godzilla are fighting each other and being like fucking dickhead guys. Like imagine like two frat bros are fucking fighting it out while this other dude is like destroyed. Like a bully is picking on this like little kid. And Mothra, teeny like 5-foot girl, is like, you fucking losers. You like are beating each other up when there's somebody you could actually beat up who's being a fucking bully. And they're like, I don't want to do that. And she's like, you know what? Fuck you. She goes up and she starts confronting the bully, King Ghidorah. And it's like, you're a fucking piece of shit. You know that? And it embarrasses Rodan and Godzilla so much that they're like, all right, now we have to beat this guy up. Like, we can't let this girl show us up. We can't do that. And that's what starts off Godzilla's move to be the protector of humanity. And that's why she's known as the queen of monsters, because she's the one who will constantly put her life on the line for humanity.
Love that. I didn't. Yeah. I know I was giving her shit by her appearance before, but I'm scared of Bug.
That's valid. Don't get me wrong. Scared of Bug is valid. So the thing with Mothra is she is in a constant cycle of life and death. She's very fragile. She's very small. She's very petite. Very, very mindful. Very demure.
Jesus Christ.
So while she's very powerful, a couple hits and she dies, genuinely. Like she will constantly put herself in the line of fire to protect humanity or to give an advantage to one of the other monsters that can take down a bigger threat. The other thing is that when she dies, she always leaves a cocoon of herself, like a larvae, and is reborn.
That's fun.
So it's a constant state of life and rebirth and of this cycle of basically, we brought it up earlier, so I'm going to say it again. Well, I would bring it up. She's basically Monster Jesus Christ.
And she dies
for
a
our
Monster
sins.
Jesus Christ. That's a woman.
Yeah. She dies for our sins. She dies for humanity. And even though humanity sucks and is destroying everything, she still will go out of her way to protect us. She will go out of her way to save humanity. And that is my queen, Mothra. What are you feeling, Joe?
I love that. Like, I feel like this absolutely speaks to me. And like, I don't know, just like in so many ways of like, there is this like, even though she is like a weak woman, there's still this aspect that is like, you know, unfortunately inherently sacrificial a little bit. But like, I think still like it lends itself very well to the themes of like, there's just so much that her body must be sacrificed or taken away by whatever, but she still instills hope and still provides so much in the Godzilla world and the monster world, like whatever. It's very interesting. That's very fun for me.
To quote a video that I saw while I was doing a little research about this, a majority of the monsters in the Monster Godzilla verse represent masculine anger or masculine traits because because the themes are inherently environmental, they represent pure anger. Like Godzilla is like the judgment of the earth taken down to environmental. They're global disasters for what humanity has done and the earth's true anger. But Mothra is always been the femininity of nature and kindness and caring, because she rarely does is like, hey, I understand humans are still part of nature. While you may be destructive and ruining things for the species, that doesn't mean nature will stop providing for you. That doesn't mean nature will stop protecting you. There still need trees to breathe. You still need homes to build. You still need food to eat. And that no matter how far you stray away from the path of true harmony with the earth will still be here to protect you.
Excellent. Incredible.
That is just what it is. So to bring her to a more human aspect, she is just like, I think she is like a director of a soup kitchen. or not even director. She's like the director of several nonprofits, like soup kitchens, environmental causes, and she's constantly giving her own money away. She's constantly putting her like on the front line, volunteering. And even though sometimes it doesn't go well with like politicians or companies, or she is a community organizer. She is somebody on the front lines, no matter what, like showing the people that she can be out there and that like trying to really build the best for humanity.
Love that.
I love her. I love her so much. And in a kink aspect, she got strings. She got webs. She spits that out. She will tie you up. She is a queen. She doms. She's also very dominant. She doms Godzilla, to be very honest, to be frank. She's the one who Godzilla's always rampaging. She's like, stop that, dumbass. Lock in.
Dumbass?
She's like, come on. I get it. You're having a little tantrum, but there's a bigger threat here. Let's focus up. Okay? And he listens. He bends. In Godzilla vs. King Kong, the newest one, Godzilla, King Kong, beefing, fighting. It's on site. Mothra is reborn, and she immediately shows up and stops the fight between King Kong and Godzilla. And once Godzilla sees Mothra, he's like, oh, okay, you need my help. I missed you, baby. I love you, baby.
Miss you, baby.
Like, because she died in the previous movie. And so he's like been rampaging around, destroying everything. And he literally comes back. Oh, it's not Godzilla versus King Kong. It's Godzilla X Kong, the New Age, whatever. In that movie, Mothra shows back up and is kind of just like, hey, I understand you're upset, but there's bigger fish to fry. Come on, get over it. Come on. And Godzilla folds. He folds for his queen. He's a simp.
You heard it here first, or for perhaps many decades. Godzilla's a simp.
Godzilla is a Discord mod, and Mothra is his kitten.
That doesn't make this a fantastic mind place for me, but okay, interesting.
Yeah, don't worry. Yeah, it's for the audience. It's for you guys. You there. Anyways, we want to get into the scale. I've been, I think, like ranting about this for a little bit. Let's jump into the spread scale. Let's talk about that, and I can get into more details for this. Sex appeal. Joe, what are you feeling?
She immediately, I like grimaced upon seeing her. It's a tough visage.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
For those of you who don't like bugs, who are afraid of butterflies, who are afraid of moths, this is going to be a tough sell. I'll be real.
Yeah. Like her personality score will definitely be great, but for sex appeal, I'm going to have to give her a 4, which is very generous.
That's fair. Genuinely, for you who is afraid of bugs, that's very fair. Me, I love bugs. Bugs are pretty cool. I am also a fan of her vibe. She's just so fluffy and cute, and just in her original appearance, of very much like, it's supposed to invoke that. It's supposed to invoke cuteness and kindness, and a little all with her appearance, because again, she was supposed to be the opposite of all monsters that came before her. She's the blueprint. She's the first. I'm going to give this an 8.
Okay.
She is huge. She is 60 feet tall with a wingspan that is fucking humongous. I feel like I should also bring that up. She is a kaiju.
She is still a giant.
She is a giant. And even in her worm form, she is destroying everything. She is like, I think 100, like her wingspan blocks out the moon.
It's crazy. Got it.
Yeah. So I can make that work.
You're strong enough. I understand.
Yeah.
I'm not.
Personality. 10. Easy 10.
I think so.
She is kind. She is selfless. She is a warrior. She is everything. She's a dom. She got the vibes of it. That's a 10, baby.
That's a soft dom.
That's a soft
That's a gentle dom. Yeah.
That's a 10.
I'll echo 10.
Let's go.
Relationship potential?
High.
I was going to say, it seems very... Her number one relationship is to the earth.
Correct.
So, and I understand. I get that.
It goes to 3 ways. It's the earth to protect humanity and everything. It's her people on Infant Island, her priestess and all that kind of stuff. The one who sang her song. Shout out.
Love that.
And the third is Godzilla, her husband, her king to her queen.
Yeah.
There's a symbiotic relationship between them. Those are her 3. So she's been able to maintain all 3 relationships pretty well.
Yeah.
I'll
be your little fuck pig.
I'll be your little fuck pig. I'll be there waiting at home with dinner and be like, yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
It is for you. I think relationship potential is pretty high. There is okay. I feel like I should also bring up a downside. I feel like I've been talking her up. I haven't given her like the usual downsides I usually do for other people. So I should be fair.
Maybe I just feel bad because she's like a beautiful woman and I understand that. I'm just And the bug face is so
Yeah.
hard.
No.
So I'm just like, I don't know. But
make
yeah,
up
you
for-
were saying.
The downside is she will sacrifice everything for other people.
Yes,
She's self-sacrificing.
You know what? I was going to fucking say that. I was just like, is there not an aspect here that's just like kind of not enabling Earth, but like is there anything that is trying to make the Earth or humans better in any like direct action?
She does punish those who like offend the Earth, and
I love punishment.
And does punish those who mess with her things, like her people. So there is that aspect. She does punish those who attack the Earth, like giant monsters. Mechagodzilla that was ordered by like
any corporations.
Yeah, I think there was one corporation because of Mechagodzilla that was created by a corporation, and she was like,
okay,
stop.
Okay.
Especially when it was rampaging.
So she's not a liberal.
She that threw me the fuck off. But yeah, so she does punish. But the other thing is, again, she sacrifices her life almost a majority of the time. She's the one to put her body on the line for a cause. She's
tough.
The one to
That's really tough.
So there's an aspect that's not great, especially if you want a relationship or you want something deeper. She will, at the end of the day, make more time for her causes than she will you.
You know, not to compare myself to a literal monster queen goddess, but when I was in college, I was in a relationship while I was also going to a lot of parties, and I was always the person that was like collecting my friends off of the floor.
Yeah.
So maybe I understand where Mothra's coming from. I'm just kidding.
That's a fucking wild pull. That was a fucking wild, just like, it was like, oh yeah, my dad has died. And you're just like, I can relate because
and one time I rose above.
Yeah. Well, I can relate because one time my dad left me at the mall, but he actually was just in another store.
Yeah.
So I get where you're coming from.
No, it was what an interesting predicament to be put in though, because I remember my my partner at the time being like, obviously I wasn't like giving them a lot of time at these parties. But they were also like, it was an interesting, weird thing for me as also like not realizing I was autistic at this point, but they were like, you don't have to help people all the time. And you and I have the same like kind of line of like degree and like major like work that we went to college for. Human college, whatever.
When we were like making our personas, we like did all our human knowledge. Like we did a whole thing.
Yeah. And I was just like, what do you mean? Like, yes, I have to help my friends who are like, especially in a party setting. Yes, I do have to help. But I think the fact that I was just always the person that was like not getting as fucked up as my friends were, and it was just always like this show of it all. Like it's a hard predicament out there. There's definitely a compromise. There's some boundaries that you got to set up for any of my college people who are in a similar situation. Prioritize time with your partner for sure, but also make sure you get better friends. At the same time.
So that's where this relationship potential, I think, gets to a certain point of like badness. I will not give this a full 10 as I originally was going to do. I'm going to give this an 8. I still think there is a relationship potential that could be had, but you also have to make the realizations that you will never be her first priority.
Yes. And I love that. I'm super down to be in relationships where I'm not the first priority. I mean, I'm especially even down if I get to be a little sexy little priestess on Moth Island. And I just get to like find a bunch of like, I don't know, fucking clothes for her to eat or something. Like,
first of all, she doesn't eat clothes. She's a butterfly, so she just eats the energy of life.
I didn't realize. I'm so sorry.
Yeah. Anyways,
her name's Mothra, so I'm like, yes.
I mean, yeah, she's a moth butterfly, but she doesn't eat clothes. She does spit out string though. Anyways, what's your potential? What are you putting?
8.
Okay. Encounter chance. Pretty
you tell
high.
Me?
I don't say it's pretty high. I think it's middle of the road. She usually stays for her island for no issue other than protecting the people. She does venture out the island when threats to humanity exist. She does leave for a little while. I don't think it's the worst, but also not the best. I think you have to be kind of in the middle there. I'll give this a 5. I think right in the middle.
I feel like there's such specific circumstances for this is my only thing. Because, and obviously this is like a stupid maybe reasoning, but like it's either you are not in Butterfly Worship Island, or you are and you're like a little sexy priestess, or you're just like someone that is dealing with a potentially like Godzilla or Mecha Godzilla ridden world here. It feels, well, perhaps these Godzilla attacks are maybe more often than more often than I assume that they are. So
what happens is a lot of the other kaijus attack, and then Godzilla comes out and is like tries to like whip them the shape. Usually Godzilla can handle it on his own, so Mothra kind of like chills. But usually when there's a threat that is super big, Mothra also comes out being like, "Yo, let's stop this."
Understood. I feel like in my heart still says 4.
Okay, that's fair. I think there's no problem there for that.
You're seething and like gripping your fucking fists.
I'll be seething at the next one if you put anything lower than what I'm going to put.
Understood. Yeah. Death risk. That being said,
death risk is 10.
You said 0.
I was about to say 0 because I forgot our scale. 10.
I mean, yeah, she dies more often than she kills people.
Yeah, and she doesn't go out of her way to kill people. Even when her priestess were kidnapped, all she did was go back and be like, "Hey, give us our shit back. Give it back now."
Did the priestesses survive?
Yeah, they survived. They came back.
Fuck yeah.
They got back on her, and they sang that song that I just said.
Okay.
I sent you the song. They sang that song, and she left.
We have the numbers. It's looking very good for Mothra.
I'm excited. Now let's go send a little prayer, sing a little song for Mothra. Ready? 3, 2, 1. Mothra. Yeah. Joe, after we've left off this big old prayer, this big old song to the Queen of Monsters, what's the score? What's the numbers?
For Mothra, Cleric with an 8.2. For Joe, a 7.2, which still does give Mothra a hearty 7.7, which is the same as Soundwave.
Let's go. My monster's top tier, baby. I never miss. I never fucking miss. And even when I miss, they still are beautiful.
It was a pretty good one this time around, yeah.
So we have the 2 very high monsters. Giant monsters just hit the vibe right. If we're going very specific, just big old monsters hit the vibe. They get it. They understand everything. So what was the Green Knight's score again?
So, in essence, today's loser is the Green Knight at a 6.6.
But you know what? There are no losers today. Genuinely. I think this is all wins on wins. 2 wins for us. Giant monsters win. Usually we have stinker episodes. Not what I mean by that is we have monsters that are in like both in the low, like in the bottom tier, less than 2. We've had those, and now we have winning episodes.
And unfortunately, Pinhead was kind of a mid score because it was my fault.
Listen, Pinhead was saved because of me being kind.
Pinhead?
I'm Dirty Dan. Anyways, Joe, any closing thoughts?
Get good.
Lock in. Get good.
Lock in. Our tall, giant, sexy lovers deserve to have whole islands to themselves.
I think the lesson of today is lock in. Stop. If you're gonna be mid, own it. And if you're not gonna be mid, fucking be the best. Because then you'll be rewarded. And treat the earth with respect.
Exactly. The Green Knight, like there'll be there's a lot of like environmentalism in this episode, in essence. And if you say that you're the best and you can't handle the consequences of eventually getting beheaded if you're not the best, then maybe stop saying that you're the best. Fuck you.
Fuck you. All right. Bye.
Thank you for listening to another episode of MFA. Your hosts have been Cleric and Josephine, who you can find as Cleric34 and Scary Dog Friend respectively on social media platforms. This episode has been edited by Kestrel, who you can find as Holocampus. Our marketing strategist is Gwen, who you can find as Glitchy Pixie. And the character designs that you see on the front cover of this show were done by Ribby, you can find as Art by Ribby. Our intro and outro song is Fiction/Reality by the band Hypno Sister. Thank you to Soren for permission to use the song. Our episode topic was so lovingly provided by Navar, the host of Secret Nerd Podcast. If you want some insightful interviews with some top-notch people in the TTRPG, community, space, and industry, go and take a listen. Navar also has an AP of their own game for Corrupted named Ties That Bind. If you want a post-apocalyptic narrative featuring one of our very own members here from MFA, then by all means, please check it out and give some love to that production. Our anonymous caller for today was Kendo, who you can find online as Kendo Makes Films. They are the GM and producer of the brilliant show Tales Yet Told. You can go listen to their Strangers in the Wood campaign or their Whispers in the Sea campaign and the recently finished Voices in the Wood mini-series. Our wonderful Ko-fi members for today are Amelia G, Gwendolyn, Christian J, Bun Han, Zombifighter 89, Antonia Nipples, Kenegales, Trash Rat Darcy, and somebody I forgot to shout out the last time we had an episode, Chaz Romaine. Thank you to each of you for your support for this show. Thanks to you, I get to be out of the basement for 5 extra minutes. Thank you so much. Outtakes for this episode can be found on our Ko-fi page. That's ko-fi.com/monsterloverpod, available to wonderful members. If you have a topic suggestion that you'd like us to discuss, or you're in a predicament with a certain monster you're trying to woo and would like our advice, then you can reach us on Twitter at monsterloverpod or email us at monsterloverpod@gmail.com. You can also use the various comment sections for whatever it is you're listening to this on, whether that be the Spotify mobile comments or the YouTube comments. And we'll do our best to entertain you and live up to your expectations, and invariably fall short of them. If you want to keep up to date with us, you can follow us on Twitter at MonsterLoverPod. And if you'd like to support the show in ways that aren't financial, you can rate us on Spotify so that more people can come and listen to this show. Leave a review so people know how great it is. Or get a friend to listen. Because, look, we don't know who you know. You know who you know. But we want to know who you know. You know? Thank you so much for listening. Our next episode will be coming out hopefully in about 2 weeks. And until then, stay safe, monster fuckers.
I actually just freaked myself out. We don't have to include this in the episode because I don't want to give people erectophobe or whatever. What if like you're having sex with him and like a fucking spider just crawls out his pee hole while he's inside you?
No. No.